How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. It's a host of topics we need to discuss on today's video. Now, the first one is MetalJesusRocks. So this guy, we've talked about this over and over and over again at length. He has hit a creative brick wall. Guy puts out a video, if you're lucky, once a week. Used to put out 2 videos a week. And today he put out a video talking about his, what else? PlayStation Vita collection. Now, he's talked about his Vita collection at least 5 times in the last 5 years. So I get it. I see what he's doing. He's trying to put out a refresher video because there's been some time since the last time he spoke about the Vita. But good God, man. First of all, no offense to any of you collectors out there that collect for the Vita, but most people don't give a shit about that console. It's a failed console. Nobody gives a shit about it. You know, if you're gonna put out one fucking video a week, you better put something out that really grabs our attention. So the problem is, and we've already talked about this on the channel before, but when you've got a channel that revolves around gaming and collecting, there's a ceiling, and it's not a very tall ceiling. And right about now, MJR has basically put his head right through the ceiling. He's talked about every console 10 times over. He's discussed all the hidden gems at length. You can only talk about the same games over and over and over again. Okay, you can only talk about downhill domination so many times in the PlayStation 2. So, you know, his channel is not growing. He's got, what does he have, 975,000 subscribers? It's been like that for like 2 years. So he's like part of the old guard. He's got a large sub base, but that doesn't mean he has that many people watching his channel. God, no. It's just a number. So at this point, he's royally fucked because it's too late. He can't reinvent his channel. He can't do a 180 and start talking about other stuff. He's already tried that. You know, he talks about fucking vinyl. And believe me, I don't have an issue with vinyl, but he's alienating his core audience. They don't care about that stuff. And then, you know, it's like, just forget about views for a second. He's so burned out. He posted a second channel, MJR Extras, just to sort of, you know, allow him to spark a creative interest and talk about other stuff on that channel, mainly gameplay footage. But yeah, nobody fucking watches either channel. He gets good views when he posts very cookie cutter generic videos like PlayStation Vita collection, Xbox collection, Atari Jaguar collection. But again, he's already done that fucking 10 times over with each console. So, you know, other than that, he goes out and does his video game hunting videos. Again, it's been done to death. How many times can you visit Pink Gorilla in a year? So at this point, you know, he considers it a full-time career, full-fledged career. But I'm pretty sure he's not getting a T4 slip from Google. He's probably not claiming anything on his income tax, that's for sure. So the guy needs to shit or get off the pot. He needs to call it a wrap and find something else to do with his time, because putting out one video a week is hardly considered gainfully employed. So the guy must be, what, 46 years old, 47? So what's he gonna do? Is he gonna continue to do this for the next 10 years until he's pushing 60? He's good. Imagine that. 14 years from now, he's still talking about the PlayStation 2. Get over it, man. Alright, so let's look at this logically. So let's say MJR is putting out one video a week, and he's getting between 50k to 200k views per video, which I know he's not. He's lucky if he gets 50k, especially with the videos he's putting out lately. What are you getting from 50k? Or let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he gets 200k on a video. How much is he making off of that? He's getting his ad revenue. So what's he getting? $100 off of that? $200? And then he's got his Patreons. Now, sure, he's got almost 1 million subscribers, but I can guarantee you he doesn't have 10s, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people signing up for his Patreon on a daily basis. He's lucky if he gets a new Patreon every couple of weeks. I guarantee you. So no one's buying his merch. So what's this guy really getting out of this? Like, what's his weekly take home from YouTube? What's he getting? $100 a week? $200 a week? It's a fucking joke. That guy needs to just get on with it, honestly. He needs to just come out with a video and just be like, hey guys, you know, a couple of years ago this seemed like a good idea, but right now, especially with the climate that we're in, maybe doing YouTube as a full-time career isn't really panning out. So but it's not going to happen, you know why? Because his problem, MetalJesusRocks, he has got the same problem that everyone else has. They don't want to work for the man. They want to just, quote unquote, consider themselves self-employed because they don't want to work for the man. So he's probably relying on his wife, the front, you know, to keep up with the bills, because he's definitely not the breadwinner in the household, I can tell you that much. So you gotta wonder what his fucking family thinks of him. You know, they can't think too highly of him. You know, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a professional content creator. Alright, so next thing we're going to talk about is the Amico. Now, I'm still noticing, you know, whether it's the anti-Amico group or cult members, they're still putting out these, seems like daily videos talking about the Amico. There's really nothing to talk about, because at this point, everything that we need to know about the console, for the most part, is already out there. Obviously, we don't have a release date, but like, what else is there to talk about? I don't understand, you know, these channels here, Amico After Dark and DJC Game Studios. I get it, you're excited, but like at some point you need to pump the brakes. And sure, once the console has an actual release date, or, you know, it's been released, then sure, by all means, go hog wild with your content. But right now, for these guys to be putting out daily videos on the Amico, and again, I'm not trying to be biased here, same goes for the channels that are getting their haterade on. I try to maintain a neutral stance on it, unbiased, but there's nothing to talk about. It's just over and over and over again talking about the same fucking thing. Like, how can you be, I'm going to reiterate myself here. How can you be so fucking excited for something that has no release date, that we don't even know if it's coming out? It's been, what, 3 years now? Just put it to bed. Give it a rest for 6 months. Come back to it when you know for sure it's coming out. Like DJC's putting out a video every other day about the Amico. Like, come on. The guy is Colonel Kurtz, okay? He's too far down the river and we've lost him at this point. Pretty sure I heard a deer back there. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. I do apologize if you guys aren't crazy on the nature vlogs, but I'm just trying to get as much exercise as I can. A lot of the facilities right now, the public gyms, things like that, are closed due to COVID-19. So our options are limited. For me though, I prefer just being outside rather than going to the gym. Not crazy on working out next to a bunch of other sweaty individuals, unless they're hot chicks. So the last thing I want to talk about here, I saw DF, Digital Foundry, put out a video today comparing the Xbox Series S model to the Xbox One X. And what was interesting is they, I guess I don't want to say installed, they hooked up a SSD, a solid state drive, hard drive, to the Xbox One X for the comparison. Now, for those of you out there, I'm sure you do know what it is. A solid state drive is like the next generation or the current generation of a hard drive. It's a lot quicker than the old school hard drives of yesteryear, and you could tell right away when they did their testing, the load times on most, if not all, the games they tested were literally cut in half. So they showed Halo Infinite, load times were like half of what they were without the solid state drive on the Xbox One X. Red Dead Redemption 2, a game that's notoriously known for its horrendous load times, I'm pretty sure they showed that one cut in half. As well as they showed Cyberpunk 2077, and I guess that game utilizes the hard drive to generate some of the textures within the game, and they were showing, using the solid state drive, the textures were generating, or they were popping in a little bit quicker than without the solid state drive. So it was pretty interesting, you know, and they compared it to the Series S. While the Series S still has more tricks up its sleeve as far as graphics are concerned, the Xbox One X got the edge as far as resolution is concerned. The Series S, I think it's capped at like 1440p or 1080p, whereas on the Xbox One X, obviously you've got 4K capabilities. And there's a few other things the One X had, believe it or not, going for it over the Series S. So, you know, if you're shopping out there right now, if you were on the fence about getting a Series S or a One X, I guess it just depends on what you're going for. If you want ray tracing and all those special effects, and you're more concerned about using Microsoft Game Pass, then obviously you can go with a Series S. But if you're concerned about physical media preservation and you want true 4K capabilities, then you're probably further ahead to go with a 1X. It's just, I'm curious as to, you know, as we move along with technology, maybe a couple of years from now, solid state drives will be even faster. And then it'll be interesting to see how that is when hooked up to the 1X. It's my understanding, it's external, so that's the only thing that kind of sucks about it. You can't install an SSD internally on the 1X, at least I don't think you can. As well as Digital Foundry did not test an SSD hooked up to a PS4, so I imagine you'd get similar results as well. So yeah, apparently SSDs, according to Digital Foundry, have gone down in price, whatever that means. Probably more expensive than if you were to buy a 1X. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. It kind of piqued my interest. I do have an external hard drive, a 2 terabyte Seagate hard drive, but obviously it's not SSD. I bought it for the additional memory when I was using my 1S. Also as well, while we're on the topic of game consoles, you guys that are obsessed with physical media, that includes me as well, you guys need to get over the fact that modern day consoles don't have disk drives. I was in Walmart the other day, and much like Blu-rays and music CDs, which nobody fucking buys anymore, physical media for video games is the same way. The Walmart I was in had like a little tiny little kiosk for physical games, and that was it. Mostly what they had was gift cards for the PlayStation Store, the Xbox Store, and Nintendo. So that's the reality of it. Physical media barely exists anymore. These big game companies are only doing this to appease you guys out there that can't come to terms with the digital era. So enjoy your physical media while it lasts, because I can guarantee you this is the last generation that'll have it. Once the next Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo consoles come out, I highly fucking doubt there's going to be physical media. That's just the reality of it, and a lot of you guys can't come to terms with it. Even right now, most of the physical games that we're getting, it's just a fucking access key to download the rest of the game. So just because you've got the box in hand and you've got a disc in the case, it does not mean you've got a physical copy. You guys just need it on your shelf for your own validation, but believe me, physical media as we know it today, or knew it yesterday, is not what it was. So you guys really need to brace yourselves, because physical media, while it still exists right now, like I said, it's on its way out. It just doesn't make sense from a business perspective for these companies to be producing this when they can just sell it digitally and cut out the middleman. Anyways guys, that's going to do it for me. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Check out that hockey rink.